Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right. So, Pisces, tonight we have the Queen of Cups energy. One of my favorite cards. One of my favorite archetypes. This is the Queen of the Pond. No. It does look like a pond, huh? This is the Queen of Cups. She is an emotional being. She is creative. She brings life. She has that intuition. It is unchallenged by anything. I mean, there's nobody that is more in tune. Maybe, like, I don't know, the High Priestess, she might be close. But the Queen of Water, the Queen of Cups, this is an energy that I have to say I focus a lot on trying to perfect. This is actually maybe some of the deep work of my own personal life. I'm definitely more aligned with the Queen of Discs, which is aligned with the earth element. And so, you know, I'm excited to have this energy, especially for a Pisces. It all makes sense. I want to see what's going on here. You know, and when I see this card, it's kind of not unlike the Queen of Wands. We know that the Queen has been through some things. It doesn't matter which element or suit she is aligned with. The Queen is somebody who has gone through some ordeals, right? She's where she's at because she has had to survive and, you know, be clever and figure out her path forward. And so this one is definitely about that psychic space and the emotional space. So let's go ahead. We're going to turn this thing. We're going to give it a little knock, 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 and we're going to see what the tea leaves have to say. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and lift this up and take a look here. And I want to tell you, thank you. Thank you for deciding to click on the reading. It definitely is such an honor for me to be able to bring these messages to you. So, the first thing that I'm seeing is we have a person over here kind of sitting. You can see the head, you can see the body, and kind of the legs. I almost imagine having like a little blanket over the lap. Okay, this reminds me of maybe a grandparent, great-grandparent. Definitely somebody who you grew up around that you maybe were pretty close with. It feels like a very familiar, for some reason, I keep thinking scent. Like this person, if you think about them sitting in like their little chair in their living room, and you can just smell the house, right? And it feels warm, like a warm, inviting, like maybe wishful thinking on my part. It smells like cookies, oatmeal cookies, something. But I do feel like there is this kind of fondness, this, it feels safe. Right? Remembering grandma, remembering grandpa. And so I feel like he must have had a pretty good relationship. Now I do feel like they maybe have passed, they've transitioned from their physical form, but I do feel like they are around quite often. I also think that this is maybe somebody that your family, you know, other people in the community that knew them and know you, often tell you look just like them, right? You speak just like them. You have mannerisms that are very similar. So I feel like there is that extra layer of connection, okay? Now, we have, it says Y-O-U. Right here you can see Y-O-U. And we have, it looks like a person up here. You can see the eyes and the nose and the mouth. Almost looks like a creepy alien, kind of like on the edge of things, keeping an eye out. Right here, it looks like we have either like a tadpole or maybe this is, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but the creative substance secreted by human beings. I don't know how to say it. You know what I mean. Look at it. It's like a little round and it has a tail. Okay. If you don't know what that is, then okay. We don't, you don't have to, it's all good. Right. So we have that creative force, right? Now this could be about fertility. Oftentimes though, the phallic, the yoni, the secretions and these kinds of things are aligned with creativity more so than actually creating another human being, right? Although it could be that. It could be that. Over here we have two people dancing. We have two people dancing together. You can see one right here and one right here. Their arms are raised. They are dancing. Now down here we have a person sitting again, and you can see the head here, the body here, and a fairy right here. You can see the head, and there's the arm and the little wand. Now it looks like we have another face here, eyes, nose, mouth, again with that kind of stone face. So I almost feel like this is a love that, I mean, I really feel like you put all of your eggs in one basket with this person, right? Like you fell in love. You thought everything was just going to be about each other and creating a family, having fun. The connection seems so deep, so beloved, and yet something seems to have stood in the way. And I don't think that this was realized in the way that you wanted it to be. So I wonder if you did end up together and maybe, things just kind of didn't work out. Maybe there's the divorce, or maybe it never even got to that. You hoped that you would be together, and slowly over time things just kind of dissipated. But I feel like there are a lot of times where you sit and you think about it, you lament this relationship not working. I think that even if you ended up not being with this person, you went on to get married and have kids and grandkids and everything else. Your life has been pretty wonderful. You still have these moments where you think about what if? What if? And I think that maybe there is a sense of wanting to reach out, wanting to connect with this person again. Now, if you've ever watched my readings, I will always say, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go digging in the past. Don't go looking for old connections, both romantic, friendships, family, whatever, right? People are not in our lives usually for a reason, and more often than not, it's a good reason. Once in a while, though, there are exceptions, of course, but I will never advise you to go try to connect with somebody from the past, because you know what? I've done it. I know you've done it. It's almost always heartbreaking or a letdown or, whatever. So all of this said, I wonder if you must, right? Like, are you going to get over this? I don't know. At the same time, is it kind of a treat to have that thing to yearn for, right? Because it's still kind of a fantasy. Even if you were with this person and you did have a relationship and it did fail and you know it wasn't a good thing, and yet you still have that fire burning for them. Right? We all have our first loves, or, the first big love. It doesn't have to be the first love, but the big one, right? And oftentimes, no, we don't end up with that person. I don't know that many people who have, right? And of course, we romanticize them in our minds, of course. But that's where it lives, in our mind, right? And so I just feel like there was so much hope here. But I also feel like the universe guided you away from this person for a reason. I mean, it really, yes, for a reason. But I see you. I see you wanting to reach out. And if that's the case, then do it carefully, right? Manage your expectations as well. I think that's an important thing to always remember, is that the way that people exist in our minds is not always exactly what they're really like anymore, So we do have that creative force, though, as well. And we have a person up here holding the 2 of discs right up here. And so we have change. And so I feel like that's the biggest thing here. There's such a desire for you to change something about your life, because it feels like you are getting either like bored, you're let down, you just feel like, it's not living up to the idea I had of life, right? And all these dreams. And, some of them have been realized and some of them have not. But I think you're ready. You're ready to be changing towards creating a space where, you can. You can alter aspects of your life. So, we have this E. We have a large E. And the motorcycle. It looks like we have a motorcycle up here. You can see right here. Kind of almost looks more like a chopper, if you know what that is. But like a motorcycle. We also have a pan over fire right here. We have a person playing a pipe or flute. So I feel like there is a wanting to go, maybe traveling. For some reason, I keep getting this idea of you going camping, going to a festival, going camping, going on a road trip. There's just a wanting for that open road, right? The freedom. And I think that's what is beneath all of this. This wanting to go back. To remember what it was like to be carefree. Now, I assume that this love happened when you were younger, right? And this is part of, and I've thought about this a lot because I do a lot of readings, right? But also just, why do we romanticize those first loves? A lot of it, yes, of course, has to do with the person that we had this love affair with. But I think more than that even is that when we're young, we don't have the responsibilities. We have a lot more time. We can be much more indulgent with our time as well, and our feelings and our emotions, and even just spending time together, right? And so there is this pairing of youthful freedom, hopefulness, maybe even kind of idealistic thinking, and then you add love into that, attraction, hormones. It's the perfect storm, a most beautiful storm, right? And that, I think, is why we often hang on to it. So I could see why below all of this, these desires, it really is the driving force, and that is freedom. Or at least just a moment of feeling unattached to anything, just in the moment, experiencing that excitement, not thinking about paying the bills, or, you know, your husband hasn't said I love you in a week and a half, or maybe even longer, you know, just whatever, right? Where do all the other socks keep going? They're disappearing. The fae are taking them away, all those naughty fairies, right? All these little stressors we have, and they build up. And of course, there are moments where it's like, man, I want to get on that motorcycle. I want to drive out into the middle of the Badlands. I want to set up camp. I want to watch the stars. I want to cook some, you know, sweet corn on the fire. Oh, that sounds so good. I live in corn country. So sweet corn season at the end of the summer going into the fall, when they have all the, we call them corn feeds. Oh, heaven. Absolute heaven. But yes, I could see. And I think that you should. Now, let me just say, if there is a person you've been thinking about and you want to maybe reach out to them, I say pause that, okay? I understand the impulse, but what you should do first is plan for yourself to have just a little bit of a reprieve, okay? I don't care if it is during your lunch hour, you go cruising around town, just put the windows down, turn up the music, let your hair flow. Or if it is planning, like I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna retire today. I'm gonna pack my bag and I'm going to, you know, Nepal or wherever, right? I would go to Prague maybe. I want to go to Prague so badly. You know, whatever it is. It could be a big trip. It could be, you know, a little trip around town, like I said. Do it first. Allow yourself that before you go digging in the past. That's just my 2 cents. Now, there's one single fly in this room, and I have my window open. It's, excuse me, it's actually really warm today. It's about 45 degrees, so it's super warm. But I don't know where this fly came from. It's in my office, and I'm like, I haven't seen a fly in forever. So where did you come from? I'm trying to see if I can get it out the window. Hopefully it'll find its way. All right, so we have the scythe, we have the person praying or giving offering. So these are seeds planted. Now, if you're in the northern hemisphere, you know, we're coming up on planting season, unless you might be towards the south. Maybe it's already, maybe you've already planted your gardens and things. Well, I'm up in the north and it's very cold. The ground is still frozen and we're not planting yet. Although some people are planting their seeds. you know, to sprout them indoors. But in the southern hemisphere, you're getting ready for harvest, I imagine. And so I do feel like this could be an actual planting, right? Maybe you're going to grow some plants this year. Maybe you're harvesting your crops already, your gardens. Either way, if you are, if you aren't, I feel like there is something happening here where you are planting the seeds for a better future. So I don't know if you're investing some money, if you get a little bit of, you know, a little bonus, or, you know, a little trust fund, or I don't know what it is. You know, win some money on a scratch off, put it away, invest it, or pay off some debt, you know, credit cards especially. You don't want to be paying those, the fees and whatever it's called, interest. Or, you know, maybe it is. You're thinking about going back to school, you're investing in your future. But here's the deal. I feel like this time in your life, you have chosen to change some really important aspects of the way that you've been living. And I feel like for the first time in maybe a long time, you're feeling very motivated to refine your life. And I think that's really, it comes down to the wanting for freedom and the wanting for some kind of stability going forward. You know, consistency, stability, you know, instead of thinking about the right now, which, listen, Pisces, I'm a Virgo. We're very alike in this way. We want what we want, and we want it right now. We just are. We're just those kinds of people, right? And so learning to plan, learning to, you know, be prudent, to save and put away and invest and grow whatever it is that you are working to, you know, have. Like maybe you're somebody who is starting to preserve foods, right? Looking towards the future, thinking, I need to learn how to do some canning, right? And I'll tell you what, if you are somebody who does preserve foods, nothing feels better than opening your pantry and seeing all those beautiful jars full of the things that you've grown, that you've processed, that you have canned, and hopefully you'll enjoy eating pretty dang soon, right? So I really feel like you are coming into this cycle of your life where you're starting to really enjoy building up your reserves, building up your collection, building up your life in the way that you want to. Okay? So let's do our 3 lucky numbers. I'm just going to go ahead and roll this thing. We do 3 lucky numbers. I've had people ask. Number 84. Why do you do these numbers? Because people ask for lucky numbers. It's as simple as that. I get comments, people asking, you know, give me 3 numbers, whatever. So I just added it in. We do it with our 100-sided die. Number 29. 84, 29, and 62. 62. All right. Now, we have our self-care affirmation cards, and we're going to go ahead. We're going to flip through these bad boys. And I'll stop where it feels right. Wanderlust of the spirit. I follow my spirit on its wanderlust, guided by intuition and character. I trust myself to journey freely. I trust myself to journey freely. All right. Pisces, I love you and thank you for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel a lot, gets us in the algorithm. Other than that, if you want to subscribe, hit that subscribe button. Or if you want to leave a comment, please do. I love hearing from you. I absolutely do. I read all of my comments and I get back to some of them. Yes, I do. The thing that is so interesting is that there have been people on here for like the last 2 years, and I feel like, talk about parasocial relationships. I thought that I would be, you know, there would be people having parasocial relationships with myself and my husband. Shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. Go check him out if you haven't seen his tarot readings. You know, people listen to podcasts and watch these videos and whatever, and you start to feel like you know the person. You feel like you're friends and all that. Well, I didn't realize that I would feel the same way about some of you in the comments. I remember you. I know your stories, you know, from week to week or, you know, however much you comment. I definitely have gotten to know you and I remember you. So I just want to let you know I don't comment as much as I used to, but I'm still reading them. I know who you are. And I love you. and I thank you again. And we'll talk in a few days. So please, please, please take care of yourself. Keep washing your hands. Oh, please don't get sick. That's me talking to you and myself. I have been sick on and off since right before Thanksgiving, I guess. I think that was the first sick we got. Oh, this last time I had 3 weeks off. I was feeling really good at the end of January, I think, around there. And then I got sick. I've been sick for weeks now. So I guess it's a trade-off. I had a few good weeks feeling healthy. Now I'm back to, well, you can hear me. So anyways, keep washing your hands is the bottom line. All right. I love you. We'll talk later. Good night.